So the next pedal we want to test out for you guys is an Axis Longboard pedal. Now I actually own a set of these myself, but today Sean brought one of his single pedals in for us to try. So I'm just going to play a little bit and then tell you guys what I think about it. Okay, so overall, they feel like a really expensive pedal should feel. I know that the Axis pedals, I believe, what are these? Between $300 and $400 for a single?
I think it's $330 for a single.
$330 for a single, yeah. Mm-hmm. Depending on where you go, if you try and get one used, you can probably get one for, in the high twos or something like that. But overall, the pedals in their design, they look very, very simple, but they are very, very sophisticated. And I've always been a big fan of Axis pedals. For this Bass Drum Secrets product, a lot of people think to do certain techniques you need a longboard. So I purposely didn't use a longboard on all this stuff. Yeah. But in general, these Axis pedals are great. My only critique of them, and I've said this before, is that you basically need a whole tool shed just to make any sort of adjustments at sometimes. They send you a big pack of Allen keys, and if you lose one, you can't adjust certain things. So that's why I always give these pedals a 9 out of 10. Dave, you want to sit down and try them out?
Yeah, let me give them a shot. So my first impression of these pedals is they are very smooth. It feels like there's absolutely no play from when I'm touching the pedal to when the beater actually moves, which is kind of cool. The spring tension on this one in particular is a little tight, so it's a little bit hard for me to play with. And I actually have used Jared's. He's got a set of Longboard double pedals. Me personally, I really don't like the feel of them too much. And when you get into the price range of what Axis pedals are, I don't really find the value in them, to be honest. So, I mean, my rating on them would probably be around the same as the Gibraltar's, around a 7, because they are solid pedals. You might love them, but they really got to be your style for the price.
Yeah, like double pedal, I think they're around $700 or $800.
That's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of money. So,
yeah.
So that's my opinion on them. Make sure you try them out because they just might not be for you, just like they're not for me. But yeah.
Well, Sean, you play these pedals a ton. So what can you tell us about them? What do you think of them?
I obviously really like them. I've had them for probably 3 or 4 years now, and it was kind of jarring at first when I got them because I was transitioning from a set of Iron Cobras to these Axis Longboards, and it took me a good solid 2 or 3 months of just practicing with them to actually fully decide that these were the pedals for me because it's such a drastic feel change. Mm-hmm. They're light as a feather. But if you get the Longboard, I think it's the A series. If you get the A series, then you have the VDL, the variable drive lever, and you can actually change the way they feel. So you can make it a heavier feel or a lighter feel. And so if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't be able to actually use these pedals. But because I have that, I was able to transition, and they feel really, really good. They're super light, but they still pack power if you have them set right. And yeah, so I love these pedals. They're not for everyone, obviously. I've sold some to guys and they've returned them just because they just couldn't really make the transition because it's definitely not for everyone as Dave has kind of shown us.
So out of 10, what would you give the pedal?
I mean, it's not a perfect pedal. I have had to replace parts on it. Although Axis was great and they just sent me the parts for free. But the whole Allen key problem is also, it's a pretty big problem. I have to go to a hardware store and buy the entire set. Because it's just a pain in the butt.
Axis actually sent me some because I called them. I said I've lost all the Allen keys and I lost another part, and so we'll send you a whole bunch. So they sent me stickers, a whole bunch of stuff. So they're really good to deal with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they know that that's one of their issues with the pedals, and so
definitely
they make up for it in customer service.
Cool.
So out of 10?
So out of 10. I give it a 9. It's my workhorse pedal and it works great. So yeah, 9.
And it's one thing to note. Sean actually has a pearl beater on it. It doesn't have the original Axis beaters.
That's right. I don't like the sonic hammer. The way it's oriented is there's a vertical rod with a loop and then a horizontal rod coming out of it, so you can kind of adjust how close or how far away from the bass drum head it is. And then there's also another movable part where the actual pad on the front, which can either be cork or felt or plastic, can actually be rotated, which is a terrible feature. because if it loosens, it comes off and then it punctures your bass drum head, which happened to me a couple times until I basically took the sonic hammers and got rid of them.
Same with me. I put Iron Cobra beaters.
Those were actually my first beaters as well.
Yeah.
But they just cost too much to replace. So yeah, with the sonic hammers, 7 out of 10. Without them, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So that's the Axis Longboard single pedal, which double pedal is very similar, I presume. So now we're going to move on to the next bass drum pedal review.